Welcome to Waukesha County GovCast, your source for what's happening in our vibrant community. I'm your host, Hillary Mintz, Public Information Officer.
And I'm Sean Lundy, Chief of Staff for Waukesha County Executive Paul Farrow.
Each episode, we dive into the latest news, community projects, and the initiatives shaping Waukesha County, where innovation meets public service. From in-depth discussions on local governance to county services, we're here to keep you informed and connected. So whether you're a resident, a business owner, or just curious about local government, join us for a closer look at the heart of your county. Well, welcome to GovCast. Today is Tuesday, October 21st, and we have a special guest, Lance Spranger, Chief Information Officer for Waukesha County. We'll be diving into how the county is working to protect its systems and residents, what being cyber aware really means at a local government level, and how you, can play a key role in staying safe online. From phishing scams to ransomware, you've heard the headlines, and now let's hear the real talk. What's happening right here in Waukesha County and why it matters to each of us. But first, here's what's happening in Waukesha County. We have a quick update for you on the August flooding recovery efforts. The final disaster recovery center at Muskego City Hall just wrapped up last week, followed by stops in Butler and Brookfield. To date, FEMA has put more than $11 million in nearly 2,000 Waukesha County residents. The deadline to apply for federal assistance is November 12th and November 10th for the U.S. Small Business Administration. The I-94 expansion project to widen a 12.5-mile stretch in western Waukesha County to the Jefferson County line will go before the State Transportation Projects Commission this month, with the potential to move forward into the environmental study phase. Last month, County Executive Paul Farrow introduced the $389.2 million budget. The county board will vote on the executive budget in November. Well, October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and given the times we're in, cybersecurity is just a constant in all of our lives. But it is a great time to raise awareness. So again, we are joined by Waukesha County's Chief Information Officer, Lance Spranger. Welcome to GovCast, Lance.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You know, unlike a public information officer, which is my role, I work with the media. Our Chief Information Officer, you deal with technology and computer safety and security and keeping our county records, our personal data, tax records safe, again, in a time where we're constantly playing defense against cyber threats. So, Lance, you're pretty much our defensive coordinator for our own Waukesha County football team.
Tin Hut.
So before we talk about all of the amazing things you're doing at the county and how you keep us safe, give us a little bit of background about your professional career.
Yeah, thank you. I've been in IT leadership for about 20 years and have been with the county for a little over 5 years. IT works with all of our 16 departments and with other government agencies across the county, state, and nation to deliver and support positive outcomes through technology innovation. So we are the people behind all of the systems and functions and departments that you have at the county services. We are the ones that support all the technology behind those.
You know, I would be remiss if I didn't welcome also my co-host, Sean Lundy.
Hey, Hillary.
Hey, Sean. This is gonna be a fascinating conversation.
Yeah, so, criminals want all kinds of information, and we are the ones that hold it, right? They want personal information, social security numbers, date of birth, anything that they can get their hands on to sell it, leverage it against you, use it in some sort of nefarious way.
Yeah.
Federal government, state government, local governments, they have that information. Some of those larger governments have more resources. And really, when you look at a county government or a local government, we have the same data, we have the same threats, but we have fewer resources to defend against those threats. So I think that makes us a target. It's much easier to go after, let's say, Waukesha County or the city of Oconomowoc or Brookfield or something than it would be to go after the federal government. So how do we deal with the fact that we're as big a target as we actually are?
Yeah, great. To start off, cybersecurity is a chasing game. And what I mean by that is that the criminals, the hackers, they are looking to cause chaos and harm, but they're out in front. And we're chasing them, trying to close as many doors as possible. They attack us every single day. Last month alone, we had 150 direct attempts to inject malware or the bad stuff into our systems. And we approach cybersecurity from a layered perspective. There's not one particular layer that is going to solve this. I can't say on November 1st, we are going to have cybersecurity solved. It's not a one-time event. It's an ongoing effort to secure our data and systems. So we put as many technical hurdles and roadblocks in the way as feasible, and then we add in the human firewall, our staff, through training and diligence.
Which is a great segue into my next question and topic about investing in training our staff and not falling for these scams. You hear that saying any organization is really only as strong as its weakest link. So talk about that training and how often that we all have to, do that online.
We require our staff to take quarterly training, and it's much more interactive than in the past. It got definitely a bad reputation in the past because it wasn't that great. But now it's definitely changed. It's become where we have gamified sessions to make it a little bit more interactive, and people can relate to it not only from a work perspective, but a personal perspective. And that really helps them understand and kind of grasp some of the concepts. We even have Netflix-style limited edition series. They're up to season 6. So, Sean, you got a lot of binge watching to catch up on there. Yep. We implemented enhanced phishing guidelines about 2 years ago. And the focus on that was education, decreasing our risk of cyber attacks, and accountability. We reward the staff that are not being phished in our simulations. Those that fail receive additional training and coaching. And if those failures continue and progress, the accountability continues. Meetings with their managers, department directors, IT leadership, HR, all the way up to potential termination.
Yeah, you've done a great job, by the way, of making everyone scared of opening their email because, we've had so many trainings now where, we've got we're so aware of what a phishing scam looks like and all of that sort of stuff. And, like you said, if we get we make one or two of those mistakes, there are consequences to being a county employee and making those mistakes. Yeah. But there are also super significant consequences if we make a mistake and a criminal is able to take advantage of it. So,
you're right.
I think what we have here is an opportunity, not only, we have county training, that's great. We're protecting people's data. We're doing everything we can. We're spending a lot of money in order to do that, to protect their data, and to thwart criminals from doing what they want to do. But what can an average person do in these situations, So we get lots of training. We have, they're cool and interactive and whatever. But I know everyone's password shouldn't be like GOVCAST 2025 for
not a great password
across all accounts. So what are some of those basic steps that anyone listening can take to help protect themselves at home?
You got it. I'll give you 4 basic steps that everybody can follow, and I think they're easy to follow. Number 1 is updating your software. That is the easiest way to ensure your devices are protected from the latest threats.
So this is your mobile device and computers.
Laptops, cell phones, tablets, everything that you have as far as device, make sure that you are updating the software to its latest version, because that has the security patches in there that are blocking these threats that are changing every single day.
So I'm not hitting remind me later.
That's not the best practice. Even easier would be turning on the automatic updates.
Yeah.
Those usually come on while you're sleeping at night. You wake up, hey, I'm refreshed and I've got the latest version from there. Windows 10 recently went out of support. So that's a big one to check on. If you have Windows 10 at home, we do not at the county. So if you have Windows 10 at home, please take a look at that on things that you can take steps on to get yourself back into an updated version for support. Number 2, use strong passwords and a password manager. We recently did this about a year ago at the county, and we went to 16 characters minimum.
We know.
That's a lot.
Yep.
That sounds like a lot, and here's a step that you can do to help you remember that is use a phrase. So an example, sunshine skies never rain. I think that's like 21 characters, something like that, right? That's more than 16. But that's something I can remember. You throw in a capital letter in there, you throw in a number. There's a study that shows an 8-character password that is just complex, that has symbols and special characters, 8 characters only, can get hacked by brute force in an hour. A 16-character password with the same capitals and a number, no special characters, just letters, numbers, and a capital, uppercase, takes 37 billion years. So just about the time we'll all be retiring, they'll be hacking our passwords from there. So it's a big difference using that long password from there. Don't reuse your passwords or use sequential passwords. What I mean by a sequential password is, let's say I use sunshine skies never rain 1, and then when my password becomes due, I do sunshine skies never rain 2. It's easy for people to continue that process, so don't use those sequential passwords. And then a password manager really helps manage your growing list of passwords. You can remember one very long password, and then that password manager can remember those really super long ones that you apply to all the other sites.
And then what about the emails that you might get? You described phishing, and then there's smishing and all these other things that end in ing, gerunds for the kids playing at home. But what are some of the things that someone, when they open an email, can look for that are kind of obvious to you, like don't click on this link?
Sure.
But what should people be looking for just as they use email?
That's great. So that's number 4. So I'll jump ahead to that one, to number 4, and then I'll come back to the third one. Number 4 is really that recognizing and reporting phishing. So AI, artificial intelligence, has made this much harder to detect phishing, but there's still some tried and true methods that you can use. One of them is checking the sender address. The hackers, the criminals, they'll make small changes. So instead of it being waukeshacounty.gov, you may get an email that says waukeshacounty.com or .org. And so those little small changes can sometimes catch people. So checking the sender address. Does the message make sense? Do you get these messages from the people that you're getting, and does it make sense? Are they asking you to do something that you don't normally do? The criminals play on human emotions, and they try to instill quick actions. So if you don't change your password, you're going to be locked out immediately. They want you to act fast, and not really think about what the actions are from that particular side. And then the last thing would be confirm through known contact channels whether that's legitimate or not. So that would be in person, best, and through a phone number that you know that person, or through a separate email, not replying to that email that you received, but a separate email that you know is legitimate for that person.
And you could also, you get something for your bank, it seems unusual, ditch the email, contact your bank.
You got it.
Go to the known secure website that you are accustomed to using and verify that there has or has not been a withdrawal or things like that, where you're contacting those institutions directly and not using the link. Most banks aren't going to email you, text you, and ask you for personal information.
Correct.
So you need to go to those sources directly and not use.
And that's a great segue into the third one that I wanted to mention of the 4 would be turning on multi-factor authentication. That's an extra level of security to verify your identity, and it's especially for those sensitive data, financial, banking, your health records. You want to make sure that wherever you can turn multi-factor authentication, or MFA, you turn that on. You can use an authenticator app. You can use a one-time code that might be text to you. You can use biometrics. Those would be the 4 things. So update your software, use strong passwords and a password manager, turn on multi-factor authentication, and realize and recognize phishing and report phishing. So you can report phishing to, if you were a staff member, you'd report that to your IT department. If it's something that you have and you receive something from the bank, as Sean said, call the bank, let them know, hey, I got this funny looking email, and they can go and take the steps to try to prevent those from coming through.
Yes, I use that button more and more. And really, since I joined the county, I mean, I think when I first came, I think I admitted I fell for one because it was from Sean. A fake Sean, your alter ego.
He was better. He was better than me.
But, it was like, manager at Waukesha County,
right,
or something. And I think that it's definitely made me more vigilant, and hopefully it has for much more of our staff. But it's not, like Sean mentioned, I mean, it's not just our staff, that you guys are also working with our residents, our community. I mean, you guys team up with the sheriff's department a few times a year to hold cybersecurity training classes, and they are pretty full. I mean, a lot of people attend these.
They are. We actually had to do an overflow class because of the attendance was so high, and the registration kind of broke our fire code ability to get people into the room. So yeah, we have a great partnership with our sheriff's department to provide that cybersecurity training for the community. It's an additional step everyone can take to improve your cyber skills. And you can check out the county's monthly newsletter for future trainings. We'll share when we have the next upcoming event.
That's a great plug for our newsletter.
Yeah,
Thank
really.
you. Yes, and subscribe. We have tons of great information in there. And yeah, I mean, we had recently a jury duty scam going around that we had Clerk of Court Monica Paz talking about. I mean, it's just such a constant in our lives.
Yeah.
And also again, ripped from the headlines here, a big issue related to IT security in the news is often tied to elections. People have concerns about election equipment and ability of people interfering and impacting the outcome of an election, breaking into a system, altering the election again. So Lance, how do we protect the integrity of elections here in Waukesha County?
While no system is 100% immune from being hacked, we have several processes in place for election security. First, the results at the tabulator, that's the voting machine called the tabulators, those results are encrypted or locked or prevented. They're not just plain in sight that you could hack into the system and see that. So they're encrypted from there. Those results are then transmitted, encrypted again, so second time encrypted or locked, and those are over a private network. Those tabulators are not connected to the internet, so that transmission is encrypted or locked as it's sent back to us at the county. And then finally, the results are unencrypted by our election system, and we publish to our website. So even if someone were able to jump all those hurdles, we only are publishing the unofficial results on our website that night of the election. The results are then verified and confirmed by the canvassing process that's completed by the municipal clerks. So it's impossible. No, it's not impossible, but it's a lot of effort required to temporarily fool the public until the next day.
Yeah, and the election machines, like you said, they are not connected to the internet. So the ways that people think about hacking and how maybe a foreign entity or anyone interested in getting into our system generally, they're using an internet connection.
Correct.
To try to do that, certainly on a mass scale. And Wisconsin elections are managed at the local level. And when you think about Waukesha County, that means that your local communities are holding their own elections with their own ballot machines and those sorts of things. And then that information is physically transported through cards removed from machines, right? Taken to the county. And then when we're transmitting that data to Madison or whatever, you're on the internet for a very brief period of time. But also we have the cards and the things from those machines as like a backstop on accuracy of the data.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Should there be an issue with the transmission over that private network, then we do have the ability to take physical devices and transport those results back to the county. Yeah. And we're prepared for that on every election.
All right. Well, now it's time to talk AI. AI is rapidly evolving, and it is being intertwined in our lives, more frequently every day. So how is AI changing, our landscape here at the county? And then how are we, how does that get involved with, protecting against cyber attacks?
Sure. That's a great question because it is everywhere. So AI, or artificial intelligence, it's a big class of things that we kind of group together in that term. So there are a number of different entities or technologies within that. But like all technologies, there are some good and some not so good uses. One of the not so good uses is how fast AI is changing the cybersecurity landscape. As we mentioned, it used to be that you could pick out a phishing email because of poor grammar or incorrect spelling. Now with AI, the criminals are fluent in every language, and they can create deep fakes and move faster and faster to cause harm. So it's definitely the speed of AI has made the complexity of battling the criminals and hackers much more difficult. However, we are also using AI and all the things that are available to us to make sure that we're attacking them back or preventing them, closing those doors, as I mentioned before, to make sure that we close as many vulnerabilities or attack vectors as possible. On the good side, because the growth has been off the charts, it's our focus to provide safe and reliable ways we can use things in the AI class to assist human efficiency. So we let the technology do the computing, the processing, and analyzing while keeping a human in the loop. You may have heard that term before, keeping a human in the loop. And really what that human is doing is verifying and confirming the results. So let the AI, let the computing power do things really, really fast, increase efficiency, and then let's put the human back in the process to make sure that we have those safe and reliable results. It is both a very, very challenging and a very, very rewarding time to be working in technology.
Well,
so far, no deepfakes from County Exec Paul Farrow.
well, the day is young. I mean, who knows? Who knows? So we've talked about a lot of different things. We're highlighting Cybersecurity Month here in this particular episode of GovCast, but we've talked about some things that the county is doing to protect itself and to protect your data. We've talked about what you can do at home to protect yourself. We've talked about a little election stuff and some AI goodness. But to refocus on our mission here, let's say you are someone at home and you feel like there's been a security breach or you've been scammed or you've lost money or something.
Yeah.
What can a resident of Waukesha County do in those situations?
If you're a resident and you really want to focus on where did that come from? Was it a banking scam? Was it an Amazon scam that they tried to have you go and buy gift cards and try to use them? You really want to focus on where did that scam originate from, and you want to contact those particular people as well as contacting law enforcement, because we have trained staff within our sheriff's department that work on these type of activities and can provide assistance to make sure that you get as much protection as you can, as quick as you can. So the key there is quick action. Don't wait. If your gut tells you something's wrong, it's wrong. So act. Make sure that you contact people in known channels and move as quick as you can to get those resolved.
Trust the gut. Well, Lance, thank you so much for keeping our county and our residents safe. And thank you so much for being on GovCast for the first time. We'll have to have you back soon. So thank you all for listening. Follow and subscribe to GovCast on all your podcast platforms, and we'll see you next time.